Hi, my name is Mauricio. In this video, I would like to present to you the very basic elements for writing a book or a thesis using LaTeX. In the video description, you will find links for the most important time points and concepts of this video, as well as links to the complete online folder with all the files, with the complete content of this project. Everything is free to download. So you don't need any subscription. I will not ask any questions. You will only find the links for the downloads of all the files. There you will find more or less this structure, where you can, in this case, for this video, you will find the folder with all the files for the LaTeX document, and I will put some further links, so some instruction for downloading actually this video also. So let me show you just a sample of that. For example, there you will find also a table of contents and the video itself. And here you can find the instructions in order to download the video. In that case, that you will need to download that file, extract that file, and if you take a look at within that file, you will find everything here, and there you go. You will find the MP4. In order to play the video, just use this HTML file. Well, not for this exact video, but for the other one, the one without player in it. Yeah, I think that the instructions are more or less clear. So that is what you will find. Well, in the very same structure. And the other thing is that, well, this is the main content that we will be talking about. This is the LaTeX file. Those are our other files that are needed in order to compile everything. Those are folders where I have other files that I need for the LaTeX document. I will explain everything in this video. But before I even begin with the tutorial itself, so I would like to show you the results of this video in order to show you what you are going to learn here, so you can decide if you want to take a look at this or not, because I think it's going to be fairly long. So for that, let me open up the PDF so that it's going to be the result of everything. Okay, wait. So, okay, I'm going to put it this way. Yeah. So, as I already said, this is an introduction to the basic elements for writing a book, a thesis using LaTeX. I will teach you how to create a PDF like this one, so with a title page. Whoops. With a title page, or where you can embed templates, which you can also download from the internet. So I just took one example here and made myself a figure in order to put it also in the title page. I will teach you how to do to-do lists, so I will talk about that later. And also, I will first present you this. After that, I will also talk about how to compile the LaTeX file. So if you don't want to take a look at the video and just download the files, you will also need to know how to use the files. I will talk about this in a moment. Here, the video will be divided mainly in 5 parts, which are going to be the 5 chapters of this video. And the first chapter, I would like to talk about the very basics that you need to in order to begin with a document in LaTeX, how to create chapters, sections, subsections, how to set up your head and foot for your pages, how to create your own commands, and how to also set up the languages for your document. For example, here I'm writing everything in English, and therefore, while compiling, LaTeX made for me. I did not write here chapter 1, but so it was automatically created. If you want to write something in German or Spanish, maybe you will need Kapitel 1 or Capítulo 1, or whatever your language is. That can also be done with some languages in LaTeX. In the second part of the video, I will talk about math stuff, so how to create automatically enumerated equations, how to refer to those equations, how to create non-enumerated equations in equation sets, how to use arrays in order to create content within an equation or math environment, how to create matrices, parentheses or bracket matrices, how to define the different math fonts that maybe you will need to use within your document. I will talk about just some math symbols that you may need as a, not necessarily this is but well, here you have a huge amount of math symbols that you can need that you can use, but this is not the only thing that is useful within Latex, but far more than that. In the third part of the video, I will talk about how to do hyperlinks and references within the document, not only to content in the internet, but also to things within the document. Maybe you would like to refer to an equation that you define there, so you can do a clickable link. I'm going to click on that, equation 2.1, and I will be redirected exactly to that part. And now, using a PDF, this is very useful. You can now press Alt, A-L-T. I don't know where there is in your keyboard, but Alt and to the left, and then you go back to where you were reading. This is just going back. If you press Alt and to the right, you go forward. And with that navigation and with those hyperlinks, that makes it very useful also while reading a PDF. Well, I will show you how to create hyperlinks, how to create also hyperlinks to stuff in the internet as well, how to create hyperlinks so you can send an email if you want. But also something that I found very useful at some point is also how to create links to documents within the project folder. Let me explain that. Well, here within that folder, you will find the subfolder attachments, and here I have a Mathematica notebook and an MP4. Well, within this PDF, as I created two links into those two files. So with here, I am searching wherever this PDF is in your computer. In that folder, look for a subfolder called attachments, and there look for the file that I'm pointing at. Here, manipulate. I like this is because maybe you are writing something and you have the code for some program, and you want to also show everybody what you can do with that program. Through that, so in the PDF, you only have to click on that. The program is going to be run, and there everybody can just try something out, so whatever you want them to learn. And of course, not only programs, but also maybe some videos that you found descriptive for what you are trying to say. This is just one example for something. It's just a small file. And well, I like that, and I think that many people would also find that more or less useful. And of course, I will show you how to create as literature references. For example, those two, you can click on those, and you will be redirected to the bibliography, so you can read up also where these articles can be found. And I'm going to press Alt to the left, and again, and there I am back to where I was reading. So in the fourth part of the video, I will show you how to embed figures, give them a caption, how to refer to those. I will show you how to create tables and long tables that may go over a page, as you can see in this table here. And I will show you how to use enumerate and itemize in order to enumerate points what you would like to talk about, so either with numbers, letters, how to do the spacing, and also how to use itemize. And in the last part of the video, I will show you how to create appendices, footnotes, and Todos. For example, I created two appendices, A and B. I will show them to you right now. How to create footnotes, how to create Todos, just like in Word or other writing programs where there was if you're working on a very long draft and there are some points where you still have to work on something, you can put that within the LaTeX code. And here in the PDFs, you will have that that note pointing exactly to where you put that within the code. And let me go back also. Basics. And all those to-dos will be in the to-do list. And here you can click back on those and go directly where you want to continue working. And I will also show you how to create an index, since if you are writing a very, very long document, sometimes it's very, very useful for the readers to find some keywords. Here you can see the Appendix A, Appendix B, the bibliography, the list of figures, list of tables, and the index with some words, whatever you need. This is for what you're writing on. Of course, you can click on those, but I think you get the idea. So, okay, that's it's going to be the result of this video. And again, if you want to just download the files, that's fine. But first, I would like to also to show you how you have to compile the files in order to be able to work with those. Here, you need to open up the main document, the LaTeX document that I call just main. Yes. And this is encoded with UTF-8, so please use that, not ISO. That's kind of important. And if you're going to use that, you will need to configure your editor in order to compile it in the following way. None of this will help you. You will need to use to do the following. First, you will need PDF LaTeX. After that, you will need BibTeX, make index, PDF LaTeX twice, and at the very end you would like to take a look at your PDF coming out of everything, and this is done with PDF Viewer. Okay, so, and while going through all of those commands, now you can compile the LaTeX code, the main code, where everything is written in just one file. That's why I put here document one file, and there's another variant that I'm going to talk about within the video, where you can put something in different files, but I will explain that during the video. If you just want to work with one file, so this is the folder that you need. So, and after that you have put everything on that way, then you can compile this document with the quick build while going through PDF, BibTeX, make index, PDF LaTeX, and view PDF. I'm going to press F1 within my LaTeX editor, and there you go. Well, let me show you this in 2 pages. Come on, yeah, there you go. Here you have the complete document as I just showed it to you right now. Okay, so those are going to be the results. And oh, sorry. And well, then let's begin with the tutorial. Okay, so well, within this tutorial, I will mostly explain where I'm going to write within the code. So I will not write the code itself so completely, since that would take really forever. I have decided to do it in this way, since I think that through this, or with this approach, so I can explain you more in less time. And again, I don't want to waste your time, so therefore I will try to be as efficient as possible. So that's the way I'm going to do this. And well, we're going to start now with, of course, the main LaTeX document, since within you will see the complete structure for everything. And this is the one folder with one file only. I will explain this folder in just a minute. Now, this is the LaTeX document that you need always to begin creating a document. And all LaTeX documents are always organized mainly in two sections, well, in the code. The first section is what goes before the document even begins. Everything that is between, begin document and let me go to the very end. This after 500 lines. Everything that goes between begin document and end document is what actually is your document. This is the command names in LaTeX are fairly expressive. And before begin document, you put everything that are the settings for your document, just like so the spacing, the margins, everything that you need in order that the document looks nice, so to say. So here, after my experiences, I personally separate this section, which is also called the preamble, in 4 subsections. Namely, first you have to declare what kind of document you want to write. In this case, we're going to write a book, and we're going to use the option A4 paper. The command in order to declare this is the LaTeX command document class, and there within those brackets you put the class, and with that within these brackets you put the options for that command. After that, you need to load the packages which you may need within your document, since not all of the commands are accessible from the very beginning. Some of more exotic commands need to be loaded. In order to do that, you first have to load a package which gives you access to more exotic commands. Here, in this case, I have chosen to write all of these commands within a separate file, and this is now I will talk a little bit about the project structure that I personally use. Is that all those packages usually take a lot of space, and I prefer to keep my code more or less organized, and I put all those package loadings within a separate file, and I am going to use the command input, and within that I'm going to tell look for the folder settings, and within that folder look for the LaTeX file called packages. Let me go now to the project folder. There I have a folder called settings, and within that I have the packet, the LaTeX document called packages. And now let me open that. And here you will see all those packages that I'm going to need for the document. I will explain everything during the code. But now either you can click there and go to the other main file where we're actually working in. And here what this does is actually to put everything that is within here just exactly on that line. You can also use those arrows if that's more comfortable for you, or maybe let me show you something that is also quite nice for this. Where was that? Wait. Come on. Oh, come on, next document, where was that? There you go. Okay. Within that list is the command next document. I put it for myself as well with Alt to the right, and the other document is for me Alt to the left. Through that, I'm just doing exactly those two, but I like it more to do it in the keyboard. So tag, and therefore I can navigate through a lot of documents more or less quickly. So, but the thing is now here, oh, sorry, that I like to put everything more or less as organized, and I just create all those packages within another LaTeX document. If you want to create a new one, of course, go to File, Create New, and there you go. And after that, you can just save that wherever you need to. I'm going to close this thing. And that's where I put all my packages. Also, the page settings are also written in another LaTeX document that I include here with the command input. And you can also, here within this structure section, you can go directly to those files. Let me put those things a little bit more to the side. Here, page, I double click on that. And yes, with UTF-8, please. And there you see what I have written exactly there within the folder settings. Okay, so now I'm going to close that. I'm going to close packages, and we're going to go back to the main file. And there are some other commands that you will define over time. After having written a lot of documents, you will usually have your own set of commands that you like to use, and I will talk about them later. But here, I would like to show you first, okay, the first part is the preamble, where you put the settings, and after that you start with your document, where you write your title, who you are, and you begin writing sections, subsections, and a lot of stuff. Okay, that is your main file actually. What you're writing in your document. Something that is also important here: the percent symbols are used in order to create comments within the code. That means that everything that goes after a percent symbol will be ignored while compiling exactly this code. I personally like to use those lines in order to separate different sections for me, so I can visualize, okay, this is the title page, this is the beginning of a chapter. After 2 lines, I always begin with a section. After 1 line, I begin with a subsection. But I mean, that's personal taste. You can do it as you like. So that's the main 2 parts. Is first the preamble, after that your document. Everything between begin document and end document. Okay, so the very first thing that you will need to do, as always, of course, is to create a title page. So LaTeX here offers you the very basic thing that you can do is to create a title page, just like by defining a title given within those brackets, and also defining an author, which is going to be me here. And if you want, you can also put a date. Let me show that. Well, we can go and put 1900, whatever. We're going to compile this, F1, well, in my LaTeX editor, and there you go. We have the title, we have the author, and the date. Okay, if I don't want a date, I just will leave it like that. There you go. The nice thing is within this editor is that if I am writing exactly here and I compile it, I will, when the editor, well, TextMaker is the one that I prefer, so will show me exactly the page I am working on, and it's going to be highlight the part where I am writing. That's actually very useful also for the rest of the document. Okay, let me also change this 2 pages. There you go. Well, maybe you will not like that because it's just way too simple. You need something more, I don't know, more fancy, so to say. And there are a lot of templates in the internet. So for example, in these cases, I'm putting the file title page 1 within the folder content. I'm going to go to the project folder, within content, you will find exactly that. Or I can just open it up here. Yes, please. I'm going to put the sound off. So, and this is a template that I downloaded exactly from this page, which I'm going to show you now. Come on. And here, so well, not only this site, I mean, there are millions of sites where a lot of people have done wonderful work, and there you can download their Latex templates with which they have made give free for everybody, which is really, really nice. But before you do that, I mean, you have to understand how those things work, and therefore I'm doing this tutorial. And I hope I can help you with this. Here you can find templates for articles, assignments, whatever you need. Okay, I downloaded exactly this, and this is the complete code in order to create exactly. Let me recompile. Whoa, too far. In order to create exactly this title page. And there you can see the different commands. Well, at the beginning, everything is just comments. Then you have to begin the environment title page with the commands begin and end, and the name of the environment, which you can see here. Oh, that should not be there, but it's just commented out, so it doesn't make any difference. So there, you are first creating a horizontal line with the command H rule, which is what you can see here. Then you center everything. Then you create a university name, a major heading, and a minor heading. You change the line with those two and give the specific spacing. After that, you defined exactly this command, and you define a new command with the command new command as well, where first you put the name of the command, what you defined, and after that you put within the new brackets what that should do actually, and that's going to create exactly a line before and after exactly this, where you could put your title and continue. Here I would like to show you one very important thing, namely that if I compile everything exactly in this text document, I will get an error. Let me show you first that. I will press F1. Okay, here you see I get errors because something's wrong. But the thing is that you can put that off. I will hide it. The thing is that this text document alone is not able to be compiled, since there is no begin document or end document, or there is no class defined here. I just commented everything out. Since that file is included within this document. So this document is the main document. That's because that's the reason why I call it main. But still, if you're going to use a lot of other subfiles, so to say, you'll still want to work on those subfiles and continue working on the main files. There is an option here. Here you go to options, and here stay first in the main document and define current document as master document. If you do that, every time you compile your stuff, this file is going to be compiled no matter where you're working on. Okay, now I'm going to press F1 again, and now this is not going to be compiled, but the main document is going to be compiled, which needs also this file where I'm working on. Let me show you that. And there we go. Okay, So here, if you want, you can change something. This is, I mean, title my stuff. And now I would like to see that. Come on, there you go. So, okay, that is fairly important in order to be able to use a main file and give a structure for your project and to work with different files. Okay, so and the rest is more or less self-explanatory. I mean, so you begin here with the environment mini page. You create a mini page. You put everything to the left. Here you can write your names as well in another separate mini page, which is 40% of the complete text width is what you see here. It's going to be to the right, and here is your supervisor, Smith Snow. Okay, here we have just Dr. James Smith, and I'm going to, oh, sorry, I want to put Snow there also. There you go. So I'm going to put that back, and that's mostly it. So here you can put the date. Here you can include a picture if you want. So, well, with those options, namely the picture should be 20% of the text width. And please go and look within the folder figures for the picture cube that I would like to show you right now. Within the folder figures here, I have this PNG. Let me show you details. This is a PNG. Okay, but I don't have to put the ending, well, within Windows. But in order to include graphics, you will need certain package, which is here, which is the package. Where would I put it? Oh, why did I put it down there? It's because the other parts of the video. You will need the package graphics, which is needed. So, well, I put here in the comments that is needed when you are using the command include graphics, which is exactly what you, whoops, come on, what you're doing exactly here. Okay, so that's it for that. And that's the way how you first can define or create a title page or embed something that you got from the internet. So here, the next two commands is well, the list of to-dos. So well, I will have to explain that. This is at the very end of the document, because that's, I think it's part of the 5th part of the video. Let me take a look. Yeah, those are the appendix footnotes. And but I will talk about this in the 5th part. But now I would like to talk to you about the very the first part. Is well, after the title pages about how to create sections, subsections, and all that, and how to create automatically a table of contents. This is done actually with the command table of contents, which you put exactly there, and with this command this is put before even you begin with a chapter, and each time that you compile completely everything, so in the way that I showed you at the beginning, all the new chapters and sections are going to be included within the table of contents. Table of contents, what you can see right now here, another to-do list, is exactly this thing with all the clickable links. But how do you create links, I will talk about in the 3rd part, hyperlinks and references. But first, how do you create chapters, sections, and whatever? Well, as already said, the commands within Latex are fairly expressive. A chapter is created with the command \chapter, and then within those brackets you put what the name is going to be. For example, basics blah blah F1, and there you go. And the important thing is that I did not write that this is going to be the first chapter. This is done automatically, since this is the very first chapter that that is found while compiling. So here you go through the code and check. Okay, here's a chapter. This is the first one. Okay, go. and then you continue, then you can go, for example, to that, wait, and it's going to go chapter again. Oh, okay, wait, this is the second one, and this is put as the second one within the table of contents. Okay. Okay, let me put that away. So, okay, well, the section times is, of course, is well, I will just talk about as the head and foot in just a moment. I just want to finish the different sections. Well, you can define chapters, you can define sections, subsections, and you can also define subsections. So, but well, within a book, you have to choose how deep you want your stuff to be. But that's what you can do with that. So, and again, the commands are fairly simple for this. Now, well, so everything is numbered automatically. Again, I did not say that this was the first chapter. It's just done automatically. Here, chapter 1, this is the first section of the first chapter, therefore 1.1. And this is the first subsection of this section, therefore 1 as a first chapter, first section, first subsection. And this is the second section, which is called basic page settings. Okay, so in order just to create some texts, I didn't want to write a lot of stuff here. So I used the package blind text in order to create some dummy texts. The package blind text is again, so I put that within the packages before I even begin with the document. Let me show that. And this is used with the command use package, and then you put the name of the package itself, which is called here blind text. With that, so I can create just some dummy texts with in order to fill some pages, so you can see the very basic page settings. The first thing is that you would like to also to define how big are going to be the margins, and also, for example, if you want some spacing at the beginning of each paragraph. This is done, well, also again in the preamble before you even begin with the text, and I put everything that within the file page in the folder settings. Okay, we're going to open that up. So, in order to define the margins, so you will need the package geometry, and as options you put top, bottom, left, and right, and then you put just the spacing that you would like to have. And it's really that simple. If you put that, well, you will get exactly what you can see here. Let me be clearer. For example, here on the right, let us put something ridiculous, 5 centimeters. Okay, and there you go. Here, 5 centimeters spacing. That looks awful, actually, but you can do that if you would like to. Oh, one thing is that here the right is taken as a reference within the odd pages, since the very first page is the page 1, and therefore you define everything there here in respect to the odd pages. In the even pages, this is mirrored, so just be careful there. I'm going to put that back. And there we have it, as I had it before. So the second thing is that maybe you would like also to change the spacing for the first line of every new text block. I'm going to put, let me first comment that out. So it's going to be ignored. And so you can see what is the default actually here. Here, that's the default spacing for each new text block. Maybe you don't like that, and you put just 0 centimeters, so you have no spacing. If you want spacing that you like, just put the length that you like. The next options is that here, sloppy. This one is used in order to force Latex to write everything as a hyphenless with hyphenless justification. Well, it tries to do that, so you don't have to break words at the end of the line. So for my personal taste, it's just more reader friendly, since I don't have to begin reading a word and then as it breaks and go to the other lines. But well, that's personal taste. You don't need to use that as but if you use it as I think some people would also find it also nice for reading. But if you want to also use the, well, when this fails and a word has to be broken between two lines, you can also change the settings for the hyphenation. I personally use always these settings, since through that I actually force that most of the words will not be broken. That has as a consequence that sometimes in a line you will only find 5 words and they are very are separated with a very long space between those. So if you like that or not, well, again, that's personal taste, but I still prefer that as than breaking words over the line. Okay, that is for the how you set your text box, also the space for the beginning of every chapter or text block, and the hyphenation. The last thing that I would like to show you here is the how to one way of set your head and foot of the page. Where there you will need the package fancy header, which is well, fancy HDR, and I'm going to close note. Using that package, you will get access to these options. First, you have to define that the following pages from this point on will have the page style fancy. First, also, you have to delete everything that was per default embedded in the head and foot. This is done with this command. And after that, so you can begin to create the head and foot as you want it to be. For example, here, so here I'm going to put something in the head, and I'm going to put the left mark on the head, which is the basic page settings, the sections for that. And that's going to be for the odd pages in the center. That's what you can see here. And for the even, no. Oh, sorry. Okay. For the odd pages in the center, I'm going to put, which is the left mark, which is in Latex. I'm going to go to an odd page here, page 9, which is the chapter and the name of the chapter, which was here, basics, blah, blah. And if this chapter is going to be very, very long, so at all odd pages, you will see the left mark, which in per default is defined as the chapter and the name of the chapter. And for all even pages in the center, I'm going to put what is per default defined as the right mark, which is the number of the current section where I am right now. In this case, here the current section over this chapter is 1.5, and this is continued here, and this is put right there. As well as, for example, here we began with the section 1.2, and which name is basic page settings, and that's what you see here in the header. In the foot, in the center, which there you can use this more or less short command. I'm going to put the page number, and that's exactly what you can see there and there. Of course, you can also here use this fancy foot, and for odd pages you can put on the right, for example, or to the left, whatever you would like to have. And that's exactly what you can see, for example, here. For odd pages in the center and in the right, I want to have this. And that's what you can see here. Odd page on the center and on the right of the odd page, I will have that. Well, I don't like it actually that way, so I leave it like that. As already said, you can also here use the command fancy foot in order to do the same. If you would like to have also a line at the bottom for your foot, you can use that. Let me show you that. Then you will get a line from the second page of every chapter. The first page of every chapter just has no line at the beginning, also no head. Well, you can also change that, but actually, well, for my personal taste, I like it this way. It's fairly clean. The one thing that I don't like is actually the line at the bottom, so that's why I actually don't use it. But well, you can do whatever you want in your document. Okay, so that's the way you do it, or one way. And okay, we are done with head and foot. And here I would like to begin with the new commands that you can use for within your document. So well, let me read just for some of these texts. If some long commands for formatting or other utilities are used, very often. For example, you would like to have something boldface styles. For example, this test, or in italic form, or maybe both. Then the definition of a new personal command of new personal commands is very useful. What you can see here is exactly this part. Let me put that a little bit bigger. Okay. What you can see here: boldface, italic, or boldface and italic. For this, the command is a new command, is used before the document in the preamble. For example, TBI test. I would like to show you this first. It's what you can see here. Actually, here I'm going to. I think this is going to put some complications. Okay, now. First, well, that's the way you can define this command. So, well, let me explain that first. Here, within the first bracket, you put the name, how you would like to call your command. So here, also a remark is that the command always has to have just characters. Letters, no numbers. Numbers are not accepted within the definition of new commands. So I mean by that is if you put here 1, this is going to give you an error. Just only letters. So then here you define how many inputs your command is going to have. In this case, it's going to only have 1 input, and the command is going to do the following. It's going to use the boldface style on something, and that something is going to be italic, and the something is going to put exactly there where I have this thing, the first input. You can also put, for example, this is the parameterization of some command. If you put the 2, then that means that this command needs 2 inputs. And then you can define where your second input is going to be. For example, I don't know, here. So the first thing is going to be italic, the second thing is not going to be italic, but both are going to be boldface. Okay? So I'm going to delete that. But I would like to show you first. So this command was TBE. So I created actually an external file called macros within the folder settings. And there, for example, I put all the new commands that I am using for this document, and over time, after having written a lot of documents, you will usually have or develop your personal taste for writing some stuff and for some commands that you usually use. Therefore, creating a separate file like this one, so with macros, is fairly natural, since you will use these commands not only for this document, but for that one. If you're working with somebody else and you like your stuff in your own style, you just have to load exactly this collection of commands and put it within the project. Using that, new commands is this command, which is not defined within Latex per default, but you define it yourself with the new command, can be used in order to change something that you would like. In this case, just the string test, that word, and it's going to have exactly what you're telling it to do, namely to be italic and boldface. That's the very same thing that I said. So over time, the collection of personal commands will grow. So for this, it is better to create a separate file and copy this file to the current project folder. The file can be then loaded within the project with the command input before the document in the preamble. Is exactly what I just showed you there. Okay. So that's with the new commands, and the last thing, so for the first part of the video, is going to be how to set up the language. As I already said, you can put everything on, not only in English, which is the default here, but also in German, Spanish, Italian, whatever you need. Not whatever you need. This is within the languages that are available in the current distribution. The default language of the document is English. This can be changed, for example, in German with the package in German. What I'm here, if for myself, I just put IMP for important. So when you go to that file, to the PDF, you can see what was needed within the Latex code. Okay. This changes the language of automatically generated words, just like chapter, figure, table, section, subsection, whatever. It should be also noted that in most Latex editors, dictionaries for several languages can be used, for example, in options. Let me show you first that within the packages. For example, here I'm going to use now the package in German. I'm going to compile everything. And come on. Okay, and as you can see now, we don't have here a chapter, but a capital. And in that case, you will have to search the internet for what the package is for the language that you need. But there are already a lot of those packages, normally embedded within the distribution, for the most common ones. The other thing was that, let me put that off again, save and close. And also the other thing was that within your editor, if you are writing something in another language, you can just go and look for another dictionary, so you can check the spelling of what you're writing. Okay, and every time you do that, so the cursor just goes to the very beginning of the file again. Okay, so that's it for the first part of the video, and well, then we will continue with the second part. Okay, so let's continue with the second part. Something that I forgot actually was also that to just shortly explain what is the alternative to all this. As you could already see here, is that, well, here now we're going to begin with a new chapter. When you work with different persons, so only having one file is kind of difficult for the work with a lot of people. Sometimes, well, let me close actually that. It's nope. Sometimes it is also very useful to create one main file. Again, this is the very same structure, but then for the different chapters, create separate files where you just then include within the main file. This gives you the option that, for example, I am going to work within the basics, and you are going to work in the math stuff as well, and your buddy is going to work in the hyperlinks. And each of them also can work in the separate files, and we always have the very same main file, and we can compile it and work separately in the different files. That's the only difference that you can see within this file and the other one. There is no other difference. The content is exactly the same. But I wanted to show you this is so you can have the idea, okay, maybe if I'm going to work with two guys, then having separate files is, and everybody has his responsibility in different areas. So this is the way that you can do that, also, or one way again. Okay, that would be everything for that. But but if you're going to work alone, completely alone on something, I would recommend you to write everything in just one file, because this is easier to go from one section to another, so within the structure area. But again, it's just personal taste. Okay, here we would like to continue with the math stuff, and I would like to show you how to create equations and so on. First, we're able to create automatically enumerated equations as the following one. For that, you need the environment equation, again, also with begin and end. And within that, you have the mathematical mode. And everything that is written within the mathematical mode is highlighted within this editor green. So everything that you can see here is math stuff. Okay, I'm going to compile it. So we're going to be able to see that directly there. Okay, that's exactly that. And we have a number corresponding to our second chapter. Therefore, 2.1. This is the first equation within the second chapter. And again, I never said that this is the second chapter. This is just the second chapter thing that is found while compiling. The other thing that I'm doing here is giving this equation a name, which is here I put math. For my personal taste, I always put the first some abbreviation for the chapter that I am working on, an underline, and after that also some name descriptive for the equation. In this case is the FE for first equation. And the thing is that through that you're giving this equation or this thing a name, a label, and you're able to refer to it so later in the text with the package AMS math. Again, before the document, in the preamble, in my packages, I have loaded the package AMS math, which is needed in order to be able to refer to equations. Well, you have to include that package in that way. After including the package, the command to refer to a labeled equation is ecref, equation reference, and then you type the name of the equation that you put there. Let me show you how to do this directly here, since this is very nice within the TextMaker editor, is that you type ecref, and already with the automatic completion you get a box with all of the labels that are defined within your complete LaTeX code. So you can continue, or you can just press down with the arrows and go through the list and search the one that you are looking for, since when you're writing something very long, you will have a lot of labels that you can see in the structure area. Here are just a few that I've defined within this project. But I personally, again, I use first the some abbreviation for the chapter where I am, and after that I just go and look for something what I'm looking for. Okay, enter, and everything is auto-completed, and we're going to compile it, and then you get exactly this the reference to the equation that you just defined. And you can click on that, as I already showed in the introduction, so you will be redirected to where you're referring to. Okay. Within the math stuff, some short comments. If for every symbol, if you want to write something in the superscript within the mathematical mode, you need exactly that symbol, and you can create something on the upper right corner of the symbol. If you want to write something on the bottom right corner as a subscript, you need the underline symbol. That's all. And that's the way how you get those stuff. Integral sign is with the command int, and then from 0, for example, to L, and after that I put the command limits, so these are really beneath and over the integral symbol. Let me show you the difference. Come on, there you go. Here's not directly underneath, and this is not above it. Therefore, you need the command limits directly after that. If you do that, then you really have them. Well, the way I like it here is depending on what you do, you may not need that. After that, you can write whatever you want. So here is this, that's the command in order to do a fraction, which needs two inputs. In the first brackets, you put what is in the numerator of your fraction. Here, I'm using then the symbol for partial differentiation. And in the second brackets, I'm putting what is going to be in the numerator of the fraction. Here you see a line, numerator and denominator, and I'm also doing using the symbol for partial differentiation in order to, well, show you that. And that's all for that. Okay. But here we want to just learn how to create equations. Maybe you want to have something enumerated. Maybe you don't want to have one number. And in order to do that, you just need the very same environment, just with a star. That's all. In begin and end of that, and you will get an equation, well, which is actually the very same one, but without a number. A short alternative to that is just using that. That's all. You can also create a so-called equation array with automatic numbering. For example, what you can see here, which is used with the environment EQN array, equation array. And for the equation array, that's what you can see here, numbers for every of those equations. You put this symbol just before and after the equal sign, or you can put, I don't know, whatever, a C, for example. And what you're doing here is just, with those symbols, you are separating what's on the left, what's in the center, and what's on the right of your equation array. You can put either an equal sign, an equality sign, whatever you need. And everything that is always between those symbols will be in the center of your equation array. That's all. If you don't want a number, again, just with a star. One thing also, you can give names for the different equations separately, and you can refer to those also with the respective numbers. For example, those two were 2, 2, 2 and 2, 3. Okay, no, those were those two here. 2, 2 and 2, 4. That would be everything. So that's for that. The other thing is that maybe you will also would like to use or some math symbols not only in separated equations, but also within the text, as what you can see exactly here. For that, you will need the mathematical mode, which can be used with the dollar signs, which exactly what you can see here. That's a dollar sign, and that's a dollar sign, and everything between those dollar signs is interpreted as a mathematical content, and therefore it is green here. Here, of course, you don't see the dollar signs because those are the delimiters for the mathematical mode. Okay, that's for equations. And now I would like to talk about arrays and matrices. Here, within that equation, I am using an array, and that's more or less so just creating a section which is divided in boxes, and within each box I am going to put something. That's an array. Here, that's the first box, that's the second box, third box, in the first line, and the second line, in the first box I'm putting that, in the second line, the second box I'm putting that, and in the third box of the second line I'm putting that. That's exactly what you can see here. I am creating an array within that equation. Just a comment, arrays always need, or an array can only be used within mathematical mode. Therefore, you need before that even or either an equation array, or just the mathematical mode with that, but an array has to be used within a mathematical mode. And now I'm creating an array with begin and end array. And I am saying here that this array has 3 columns. I'm not saying how many lines, but I'm saying here that it has 3 columns. And the first column, everything is going to be aligned on the right. What you can see here, those 2 of the first column are aligned to the right. And the second column, I'm going to align everything to the center, what you can see here. And in the third column, I'm going to align everything again to the right, what you can see exactly there. So within the, how do you put things within those boxes? Well, you can put just whatever you want. And in order to change to the next box, you use again this symbol, which is the, in the German keyboard is with Shift 6. I mean, that one. I don't know what it is in your keyboard, but search for it. It's the AND symbol. And after that, you go to the next box, and now I'm switching to the next box. And now I have 3 boxes, and now I have to change the line. That's what you do with the double backslash. Okay, and then I have the first box, the second box, and the third box, and then for this array I'm finished, and that's what you can see exactly there. The array environment can also be used, if you want to, in order to create equations, align as you would like, to the right, then to the center, and then to the left, in order to create equations, but so to say, an array with mathematical content within one equation. What I'm doing is just somehow doing more or less like this, but I don't want to have several numbers. I just want to have one. I am kind of cheating here. The one problem that you may have also is that while using arrays, you will not get to see all the symbols in their natural size. Since take a look at this integral symbol. If you go back, the normal integral symbol is far larger than that. So this integral symbol is pretty small because each of this mathematical content stuff is just as you would write something within a line, just like this. And Latex does this in order to not to create a huge spacing within the lines, because imagine that you're putting this huge guy between 2 lines. This is going to look awful. That's why this is done per default. But if you want to have everything in the normal size, you have to force this normal size, and this is used. This is done with the command display style. So I'm going to take exactly the very same thing, and there, where I have my integral, in that line, I'm going to put within that box, because this is between two of those signs, within that box, I'm going to force the normal style, and this is done with the command display style. And if you do that, you will have exactly all the symbols displayed in the normal way. So there you can see the very normal difference between those two. Okay, so that's for array. And other kinds of arrays are also matrices, so to say. For example, so I would like to create a matrix, what you can see exactly here, with 4 columns and 2 lines, and I would like to have a parenthesis to the left and to the right, but the parentheses should not be that small as those ones, but go over the complete array. In order to create parentheses that adjust to the size of whatever is on the right of that, so you have not only to put a parenthesis just like that, but also to put the command left, and also to put right after or before the first parenthesis, the parenthesis to the left, you put left and then the parenthesis, and then for that one you put then right and then the parenthesis. And between those two guys, I'm going to create an array. I'm going to say it has 4 columns and all of the elements should be aligned to the center. That's exactly what you can see here. And there I go from box to box, change the line, and put all the data that I want. But you already have, or some environments have already been done for this. For the environment matrix, parenthesis matrix, P matrix, or brackets matrix, B matrix, and those are the two that you can see exactly here. This is exactly the very same content within the environment of an equation. I am separating those with this command in order to create a small spacing. And that's all. The important thing is that I am not saying that everything should be aligned to the center. Within those environments, this is done per default. I don't have to do that. And also, I don't have to say how many columns this thing has. I just go from box to box to box to box, and within this environment, the number of columns is detected automatically, so to say. So I have that one and that one. Okay. So that's for how to create matrices. The mathematical fonts. This is fairly long, but I will try to do it more or less in a compact way. In order to use different mathematical fonts, what you can see in this list that I created here, well, some of those will have different meanings depending on what you will write. So in a lot of textbooks, this font is used in order to refer to sets for the real numbers or other sets. In other books, you will have some other fonts in order to refer to different operators or to some other stuff that you will have. Depending on what you would like to use, so maybe you will need different fonts. And here you have, depending on what you have loaded in the very beginning, you will have a default font. You will have a blackboard boldface font, which is this one. What you can see here, Math BB, and other fonts. But in order to use these fonts, you will have to use the package IMS Symb for the symbols. Again, go to packages, and there you can see what I have embedded before beginning with the document. I'm going to close that. And with that package, you will get access to all of these fonts. So blackboard boldface symbols, calligraphic, fractal, italic, Roman style, sans serif, I think that's the name for this guy, TT, and also the bold symbol stuff. How do you call all those things is what you can see here. MathBB, MathBF, CRL, FRAC, IT, RM, SF, TT, and the bold symbol command is just with bold symbol. There you can see all the difference between those. The important thing is also that not all of the commands can use all kind of letters. That's why I made this table. For example, math cal cannot use lowercase letters. That's why you get something that is not an R. It can only use uppercase letters, and not only letters, but also not only uppercase Latin letters, some lowercase Greek letters, but not the uppercase ones. And here, for example, I just wrote those in order to show you that here only the uppercase letters are used within that. For example, for cal, that's actually I always wrote the very same. But here you can see for which cases you can use what. Okay. The commands mathbb and others can be changed using different packages. For example, uscript or Lucida. Look for Latex math fonts in Stack Exchange. Hey, that forum is fantastic. Whenever you have a question, go to Stack Exchange and ask the question. There is so much knowledge there, so you will find everything. It is very useful to define the most used fonts as new commands within your personal macros. That's what you can see here. For example, I myself also use this thing as pretty often, and therefore within the macros, I have defined just a table with all that so I can use that as more or less in a fast way. I'm defining a new command which has no inputs. I just write that, and it's the same as I would write that. That's all, and that for the complete uppercase alphabet. Over time, again, so you will have a lot of new commands that you would like to use. So just write those in a separate file. That's really useful. Okay. So for the other math symbols, well, depending on what you write, you may need that, you may not need them. This is not very important. Since using Latex is not only for mathematical content, it's way more powerful than that. It's defining new commands, and for what you need, it's for a general document, not only for math stuff. That's why I'm not really talking about anything of this really. You can use you can get the symbols for a sum, for an integral, 3D integral, the nabla operators, and a lot of stuff as well. I would just like to say that well, you can search for that in the internet or within the TextMaker editor. Here on the side, you have a lot of things that you can just look at if you may need them or not, and if you go over there, then you will get to see how to call that, or maybe you can click on that. So let me show you that, and then you will get the command for that. Okay, so that's for the math symbol stuff, and I think this is for, yeah, okay. And now we will go to the third part of the video. Okay, let's continue. And now we are going to continue with the third part, so how to create hyperlinks and references. Let me go to the code. Okay. Okay, let's, no, I don't like that. I want the structure. Yeah. Okay, now, new chapter, hyperlinks and references. Here, as you can already see, I'm creating a label also for this, and this is very important. You are able not to create, not only to create labels for equations, but for everything that is within your document, for chapters, sections, and whatever. In order to use all this, you will need the package hyperref, and I would like to show you that here. That's this package, and I am using quite a lot of options for this one, and I will just explain those. With the option color links and giving it the value true, I am telling that to not, no, you really need to see that the difference. I'm going to put false here. So we're going to save that and compile it. So what the, oh, sorry. I just reopened the file, and that means that this guy has not been defined as the master document. Yeah, So come on, define it. So now I'm going to compile everything. There you go. So the change here is that then you will get all the links within boxes, which I don't know, I think they're pretty ugly. I don't like those. And therefore I put just here, I don't like that. I want the color and the color links. And I want to have color on the links. I don't want those boxes. I think they're really terrible. The other option, break links, is used. It's needed actually, since well, where I can view. Okay, wait. List of figures or tables. Yeah. Well, I will talk about this later, but when you have a figure, when you give it a caption, and when you, in the list of figure, you want to create a link for that figure, and when the description of the figure is very, very long, and this is also a link, well, sometimes you will get an error, and this will go over the pages, and it looks also terrible. In that case, you need that. You need the option break links. So this link is broken over several lines. That's all. The option in German is just in order to show you that. Let's do this now. But first, let me go back to hyperlinks and references. Here again, we have chapter, and we could change that using that package, but. Oh, no, wait. I'm going to show you the difference here. I'm going to now put everything in German. Come on. So everything is now in German, but the links created with the package hyperref are still in English. Therefore, if I want not only that in English, but also that, not only that in German, but also that, I need the option within that, which in the package hyperref for in German. In that case, you have to search for your language. And if I do that, I will get these very same words, but in German. Gleichung, Abschnitt, Kapitel, or whatever you need in your language. So, but here we don't like German. We would like to have everything in English, so everybody can work. This is more accessible to a major part. So here we have everything in English now, and how to call those, how to create all those references. In order to do that, you need now if you call the package hyperref, now you have access to the command called autoref, which is automatic referencing. And no matter how what this label is I can remember if that was an equation, a figure, a table, a chapter, a section, whatever. I'm just putting the label for that. Here again in the structure, you can have all the labels. You can click on those, and you will go exactly to the place where that was. I'm going to click on there. There you go. Let me close that. I was reading, yep. Okay, so, and this is going to search for that label. It's going to detect what kind of thing was that. It was an equation, whatever. I'm going to use for that, and for that. And for example, here I created the label href, which is for this chapter, hyperlinks and references. And here I have, let me compile everything. So I have a chapter, a section, which was math msimp. Let me go to that. Math msimp. Since I gave that section a label. Hyperlinks, the package hyperref. And that's what this does. This is a very, very useful command, since you don't have to write what that was. So you have to give the several things just a name and then look for those. And again, this is well, if you use the \auto, then with the automatic completion, you get already a list of that. And if you want to look for the several chapter, you begin with that, and then you just go to that what you need. Okay, these links are clickable. Also, these are clickable links, which in the PDF redirects the reader to the referred element. With Alt left, again, you can then go back to where you were reading. Here, different alternatives can be used. For example, just ref, autoref, or hyperref. And I would like to show you here the difference between those. Those are those three. With just ref, you are asking for the number, which for this label, you're not looking also for what kind of thing that was. So in that case, href was the label for a chapter, and I'm asking for the name of for the number of that, which is here the 3. With the package hyperref, I'm creating a link for that. With autoref, again, we're also obtaining the type of that thing. In this case, it was a chapter. But maybe you would like to give it also other names. In that case, you can also use the command hyperref. Within the options, you give the number of the label, the actual label, and between those brackets, you give whatever you want the link to be. And here, I'm writing chapter with a capital C. You see the difference here. But I don't only want to write chapter, but I also want to get the number of that. But I want the number without a link, since I am creating the link with that guy. In order to obtain the number without a link, you just type ref and with the star. Okay, I'm going to be clearer than that. href compile. Come on. And then I get a 3, which is not a link. I can click on that and nothing will happen. Okay? Okay, so depending on which language you have to write something, you may need language options. So I already showed you that. So that's for that. And now we would like to know how to create hyperlinks to stuff in the internet, also how to set up an email and attach files. And that's this is the way how you do it. For that, with the package hyperref, you get access to the command URL with the \, of course. And then within those brackets, you just write the URL. That's all. For example, you click on that, and your internet browser is going to pop up, and you will be directly on that page, which is fairly useful. Or you can also use the package href, the command href, which needs 2 inputs. In the first input, in the first bracket, you put the URL, and in the second bracket, the second input is the word that you want to appear as a link. In this case, I just put there click me, and that's what you can see here. And if you click on that, you will be redirected exactly to that page. So the other thing is that you can set everything in order to send an email. Sending an email to a prescribed address can be done with, again, with this command href. Within the first brackets, you put the command mail to, which is the command in order to open up your standard email program, double point, and after that the email to whom you want to send the email. And in the second brackets, as already for that one, so you put whatever you want. So I could just I just wrote this is the very same email address, so everything is visible already. But you can just write here mail. But I think that's fairly clear. Okay. Okay, let's leave that that way. And now the third option is if the PDF is delivered within a folder with useful files, then these files can be linked in the PDF. For example, as I showed in the introduction, I am pointing here to the folder attachment, and please run this file, which is the Mathematica notebook, which is called Manipulate. I'm going to go to the project folder. Within the attachments, I have exactly that, Manipulate Mathematica, as a Wolfram Mathematica notebook. With that, I tell it as to run whatever the program is within your computer that runs that file. I'm not saying that, hey, open up Mathematica, whatever version you have, and put that within that. No, I'm just telling the computer, hey, run that file. I don't care what program you have, just run it. The very same, well, and then of course I'm giving it also a name. And the very same can be done with every file. It doesn't matter if it's a video or whatever. Just doing, you're just telling it to run it. And wait. That's something that cannot be done within the PDF viewer of TextMaker, since I cannot click on those. But there you can. You have to open up the PDF as well with the within another viewer. For example, no, there. For example, Adobe. Let me go there, hyperlinks and references. I'm going to open up the manipulate stuff. Mathematica in here 10 is going to be opened up, and I get access to the file. I can take a look at what the program does. I can learn a lot of things out of that, and whatever you need. Okay, so that's for that. At the end, for this part of the video, of this chapter, so I would like to also talk to you about how to embed literature references, since in many documents you will have some stuff from the literature, and you have to also embed all these things so accurately. So for literature stuff, so you need BibTeX files within Latex that I'm going to show you right now. Here within the folder literature, I have this BibTeX database, which can also be opened within the project itself. Let me read first this. BibTeX files with literature information can be created either manually or using literature manager programs like Mendeley or Citavi. For those, so I just gave you here also the internet pages for that, so you can go there and download or read first their pages in order to see how those programs work. I personally like Mendeley, but many people also like Citavi. The BibTeX files must be included in the project with a bibliography pointing to the file together with bibliography style and the package for citing commands. Let me show you that. So first, we're within that. That's where you can see that, but let me show you that in the code. Go to the very end. Well, I personally like to embed the bibliography almost at the end of the document, but before the list of figures, tables, and the index. But well, you do it the way that you like it. And in order to do that, as already said, so you need the command bibliography pointing to the file where you have all your stuff. So look within the folder literature and call up the file library. And please use the style here, abbreviation, AppNat. I don't know what was the name of that, but that's the one that I'm going to use right now. And let me show you what is within that. So within that file library, and that one, I'm going to open that up, or alternative, I can click on that. So this is just an example of my personal stuff. This file this BibTeX data file has a lot of literature references where you can create an article, and within that element you give it a name in order to cite to that one. Then you describe the author, what kind of journal that was, the pages, the title of that, so the publication year, and what volume of the journal that was, and all this, either an article, books, whatever you have here. Let me close that. Is accessible to you within the LaTeX document, and this is something really nice. Since, for example, now, since I have embedded this guy and I have opened. This is very important. You have to open that file first, and after that you get access to the following. Now, with the command cite, this is the beauty here. You get access complete access to that file. I'm not going to use cite P for citing within parentheses, but use cite alone. And I have the complete list of all the citing names within that gigantic library that I had there. And for example, I would like to cite to that guy, Professor Adams, and that's all. And now let me compile it. And let me show you also the difference that what is going to happen actually here. Let me go to the bibliography. No. I want not to open that up. I want to see that. Okay, here I have just 2 articles, and the beauty of this is that I just refer to those articles with cite and cite P, but as you see at the end of the document, I never wrote all the literature information. This was done automatically for me using this library style. And now, for example, I would like to also cite to Professor Adams, its publication from 1994. I'm going to compile everything. Okay, and now I have a third literature reference, and this was embedded within the bibliography automatically. I did nothing out of this. So from this, nothing. All the data was taken out of this BibTeX file and was embedded within the bibliography. And that's all. And there you have the number, the title, the journal name, the pages, and all that you need for that. So even also a link for that. So, but I'm going to put that away. But I think you get the idea. This is really useful. Okay. The package that you need in order to also use these citing commands is the following. Namely, let me go to my packages. There, blah, blah, blah. Oh, something that I forgot there. So, okay, well, let me finish this here. You will either need the package cite, or if you like the way that I personally do, namely using the last name of the author and the publishing year within parentheses. For that, you will need the package netbib and use these options for that. Okay, that would be for that. But before I finish this part, I have to also explain these options that I used also for the package hyperref. Namely that the colors that you see were for all of these links were not the default colors. You get red, blue, and an ugly green. So that, well, I don't like those. So if you would like to change those, you will have to use the package X colors, define colors that you like. For example, I am here using red, green, and blue, and with those combinations, for example, this means that I have 0 red, 0 green, and completely blue. And that's what I'm here defining by C1, color 1. And this one has a little bit of green and a little bit of less blue. This has some red and some blue. And for the setup of the package hyperref, you need the command as a hyper setup. And within the brackets, then you define what is going to be the color for the links, color for citations, and color for URLs. And I'm going to use those 3 colors, and those colors are the ones that you can see here. If you want to decide to define your own colors, I mean, this is fairly clear, I think. The other option that you will need sometimes is, well, not the option, the package is the package break URL and hyphen breaks. This is needed in order to break up very, very long URLs within the text that go over a line. Since if you don't do that, and you have a very long URL, these go over the text, and of course this is unacceptable. So therefore you will need that package. Okay. So that's all for this part, I think. Yes, okay, good. So then we are going to continue with the 4th part of this video. So, okay, let's continue. We are now in the 4th chapter, where I would like to show you how to embed figures, tables, and how to use the environments enumerate and itemize. Here, in order to embed figures, you will need the package graphics. Let me go to the code, and that's what you see here. That's the package that you need, and with that package, I'm going to close that. Then within the environment figure, because so here you are defining that this is going to have a figure with that as well, and only the things that are embedded within the environment figure will appear later on in the where is it? In the list of figures. If you do not define that exactly, wait. Okay, if you don't do that, then you will not get a reference for that within the list of figures. The option that I'm using here is to tell explicitly that I want the figure to be here, and that's done with an exclamation mark and H. If you don't do that, well, let me compile this and show you what's going to be the difference. Let me put it this way. If you don't use that, Latex will search for you the place where it thinks that it suits the best, which is in this case here at the bottom of the page, which I don't like. That's why I'm forcing it to put it exactly after this sentence. There you go. Sometimes this will not be possible. Imagine that, for example, this sentence is more or less here, and directly after that sentence within the code, you have your figure there. In that case, the figure will be displayed on the next possible placement, either on the top or in the bottom. If you want to put it on the top, then use T. If you want to put it on the bottom, use B. That's all. Okay. Or take out the exclamation mark, then you will be more tolerant in order to say Latex, hey, here would be okay, but in the next page, please on the top. Okay. Within the figure, I would recommend you to use always the command centering in order to center the figure that you are embedding. If you don't do that, of course, this will be put to the left, which is not that bad, but, well, personal taste. I think you get it. In order to embed actually the figure, you will need the command include graphics. As option, I am telling it that the figure should have 30% of the text width, and the figure that I would like to embed is within the folder figures, and the name of that is cube, which is in this case is a PNG. Let me go to figures. There you have a cube, which is a PNG file. It's fairly small, and I personally like it that way. And after that, you can also give it a caption. A description for the figure itself is what you can read exactly here. Here you have a caption which can go over a line, and you can also you're able to give the figure also a name, a label. Okay, and using again hyperref and the command autoref, you can refer to those figures, and that's exactly what you can see there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, exactly. That's the figure, for example. A PNG image is depicted, compiled with PDF Latex. Again, we are compiling our stuff, our main document, with the settings that we put at the very beginning, using PDF Latex. Okay. Alternatively, EPS figures can be embedded if DVI PS for going to PostScript, PS to PDF in order to change to convert a PostScript file to a PDF. Compilation is used. All figures are listed in the list of figures with the command list of figures. Let me first explain the first sentences. PNGs are fine because they're fairly small. Maybe you have a picture taken as a screenshot, and then you have it as a PNG or a JPEG file, and then you can using or compiling with PDF Latex, then you're able to embed PNGs or JPEG figures. If you would like to compile, or if you would like to use vector graphic based figures, just like EPS figures, then you need to change the compilation that you are using. In the case we are using something just like this one with PDF Latex, but if you want to use EPS figures, then you need to compile things like this one, not with PDF Latex, but with Latex, DVI to PS, and PS to PDF, and at the end take a look at the PDF. Only with those, with that compilation order, or for example with that one, you will be able to use EPS figures, which are very, very nice since they are vector graphics based, and therefore you can scale it, and they are always sharp compared to PNGs. But after some years working on things in Latex, I actually gave up on EPS stuff, since if I use a PNG which was more or less big, and for the printed version it's enough for me. This makes my life a lot easier, but that's again personal taste. I mean by that that it's still okay, although this is a very tiny image. It's not that complicated. I just took a screenshot of something that I was working on, and that's a very easy way to create a figure and also to embed it within my Latex document. But if you want to use EPS figures, of course you can also do that, but again you have to change the compilation process. Okay. Yep. And again, all the figures can be listed with the list of figures, which for this document I put it just after the bibliography. So in this part I would like to also show you how to embed not only figures but also tables. Tables are defined again as within the environment figure, within environments called table. What a surprise. And also you can give options for the positioning of these elements. The very same. And within a table, I'm going to center whatever I'm going to write here. And with the environment tabular, you can create an array which is in contrast to the environment array. This doesn't need a mathematical node. As you can see here, there are no begin equation or dollar signs here. I'm just going to create, so to say, a text array, and the text array is a tabular. Again, for that you also need to define how many columns you're going to use. So here I'm going to use 3 columns, but what you can see here is a line which, well, at least in the German keyboard, is with Alt, GR, and the button that is left from the or underneath the letter A. I mean that one. You have to search that as within your own keyboard. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to draw a line between the first and the second column. That's the line that you can see exactly there. And after that, I will begin my data, and I'm going to do 2 horizontal lines, which can be done with H-line here. Those are the 2 first lines that you can see there. And within the first row, I'm going to first put nothing in the first box. I'm going to go to the next box and put the text property 1, what you can see here. Property 2, I'm going to change line. I'm going to draw another horizontal line directly after that. That's what you can see here. And there I'm going to just write some data, so some criteria and some data for that. And that's exactly what you can see here. And I'm going to finish my table with 2 lines. And after that, I'm going to first finish the environment tabular. I'm going to give a caption for the table, an exemplary table, what you can see here with the table number. And I'm going to give it a label. I'm going to finish my table. And I'm going to reference the data, what you can see exactly there. I think that should be clear. But well, sometimes you will also need to present tables with a lot of data, and those tables may go over a line. For that kind of cases, you can use the environment long table. Again, the names are pretty expressive using Latex, and I'm going to put that as within the environment center. Where that means is everything that goes between begin center and end center is on the center of the page. And there I'm going to create a long table, which is going to have 3 columns. I want a line after or between all of the columns, what you can see there and there. Oh, but you also need the package for that. Sorry. First, let me go there. Here, that's the package for that. And I'm also going to use the package Bigstrand, which I am going to use also right now. So first I would like to explain how to do this. So here I'm doing 2 lines, and I'm going to write 3 boxes with mathematical content within each box. That's the reason for the dollar signs. And here a remark. You have to put dollar signs within the box. You cannot put a dollar sign, for example, here and a dollar sign there and assume that it's going to be taken for all of the boxes. This is not the way you do it. You need to put dollar signs or activate the mathematical mode within each box separately. Okay, and after that, I'm writing here end first head. What I'm doing here is declaring what is going to be the first head of the long table that can go over several pages. And I'm using also the command Bigstrand, which I loaded with the package Bigstrand also, in order to give this exactly this line a little bit more of space. It's going to be a little bit wider than the other. You can more or less see it here and here. I did that because the exponent here were just way too close to this line, and I didn't like that visually, and therefore I just wanted a little bit more of space. That's why I put here a big strut. And after that, I'm going to change the line and I put a horizontal line. That's what you can see exactly there. But this is going to be the first head. What I'm going to declare now is what's going to be the head of the long table when it goes over several pages. And for that, I'm going to write what you can see here. And if this table goes over 20 pages at the beginning, and at the head of that, not the first head, but the head in the continuation of the page of the table, I would like to have the table name and some information that I would like also to write. But I would like to have that not in one box, but over all 3 boxes, over all 3 columns for this line. You can do that using the command multi-column, and this needs 3 inputs. In the first one, you put how many columns do I want to unify here. I'm going to use 3 columns, and whatever I put, now I can put it to the right, to the left, or to the center of the unification of these 3 columns. In this case, I'm going to put it in the center. And as I already said, I want to have the table name for that. That's what I'm using with this command. A single backslash makes just a very small spacing between 2 elements. And after that, I'm going to put the table and a double slash, making a little bit wider dash there. And after that, I will write some information. You can do whatever. Here you can write, I don't know, banana. Compile it. And at the beginning, you will get that, and the information is banana. Okay, but we're going to leave it that way. So, and information on the top, and that's all what that's not everything that I want on the top, but I also want more stuff, since after all these lines, I would put the command end head. That means that all this will be always at the head of the long table over the several pages. I will change the line. I will put a line there. That's this line that you can see here. I will put exactly that information. I changed the line and put another horizontal line, and that's the end of the head. This means that with that, I am going to end the head. Okay. I would like also to put something in the foot, again with the very same multi-column, and then you put some information. And so that's exactly what you can see here. For example, you can see you can put a table continued in the next page. So table continuation in next page. Compile it. There you go. Oh, okay, well, but you get it. Okay, let's. What? Sorry. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be the foot, but that would be the foot for at the end of the table in each page. You get it? The last foot will be this one. And that's all. In that case, I'm just going to go over one page, and I'm going to put that with a double line in order to change that, to end that, and that's all. And after that, you put the actual content that you will have in your gigantic table. In this case, just a bunch of numbers. Then you end your long table and your center environment, and well, that's all. All of the tables can be listed with the list of tables. That's exactly what you can see. Come on. list of figures, list of tables, exemplary table, and long table. Okay, so, and this is going to be the last thing for the fourth part of the video, is how to use the environments enumerate and itemize. Let me show you what is that. You may want to just enumerate some important points. This is done with the environment enumerate. Each time you have to put an item there. You're not defining that this is first, this is the second, just you're defining that this is one item of that. And you're doing exactly that. And enumerate is just enumerate is automatically for you. I mean, it's clear. Maybe you would like to change some stuff within this package. This can be done by explicitly embedding the package enumerate. Packages, enumerate. And by doing that, I'm going to close that, you are able to use some options. For example, that one. I don't want to enumerate everything with the default settings, but I want to use alphabetical numbering. That means that A, B, C, D, and whatever you need. Okay? Or with numbers, but I like a parenthesis, and that's what you get. And in order to get some space at the very beginning, I mean, you can see a difference between those two. You can just put those symbols there. And alternatively, maybe you don't want numbers, you just want some bullet points. And in order to do that, you can just use the environment itemize. And then you will get bullet points. That's fairly easy. Okay, so that's for this part of the video, and in the next part we will talk about appendices, footnotes, and Todos, and how to create an index. Okay, so we're almost finished with this tutorial, and as I already said, in this chapter we're going to talk about these concepts. The first one is how to create appendices. And okay, in order to create what is an appendix? Maybe within the document that you're writing, there are some important things that are important for what you're writing, but they are fairly long. But not that important for the main text, but still kind of important for the complete idea. What you can do is always to just describe the concept as in a short way and give a large explanation of that in an appendix, which can be embedded after the main part of the document. In this case, I'm going to create two appendices. What you can see here is and how to create appendices. Well, therefore you have the environment appendix, begin appendix, and end appendix, and appendices are created within this environment as chapters, sections, subsections, and all of that. Here I'm going to compile right now, and we are going to go to the first appendix, which is, and the appendices are enumerated alphabetically. So appendix A would be this chapter within the appendix. The next one would be appendix B, is exactly what you can see here. Let me put it in a 2-page stuff. Okay, I think you get it. There you can create sections which are just 8.1 and so on. And equations will get enumeration just as chapters, but in appendix style, 8.1 for the first equation within that appendix. Okay, so that's the way how you create appendices. How to create footnotes, that's also more or less clear. You just within the text, you just write the command footnote directly where you want the footnote to be referenced to, and then within the brackets, then the content that you would like to have. I'm going to compile that. And when you do that, come on, there you will get numbers or links thanks to the package hyperref and so on, and then you will go directly to the footnote description. And this will be enumerated and given at the bottom of the page. So that's for that. To-dos. This is something that I really like because I think they are very useful. In order to create to-dos, you will need the package to-do notes. Package to-do notes. With that, also you can embed to-do tasks within your document. You can and then describe them with comments. And here, and for that, you need the command to do. And within the brackets, you write the description for that. I just put simple spacing because if you don't do that, so just let me show you what happens then. Come on. Here you will have the description pointed exactly to the place where that was, but here somehow the package will erase the spacing between those. That's why after every to-do I always write that. I put a simple spacing. That's I mean, it looks better. But with that also, I always can see where I still have to work. All of the to-dos are listed within the list of to-dos. What I always prefer to do, let me go to the very beginning of the document. I like to do that at the very beginning of the document. So when I am working on something that's really long, then I go back to the PDF and take a look at the list of to-dos. And I have that. And there's a description, so I can remember, I have to work on that, and that's on that page. I click on that and go directly to the place, and I can continue working on that. Okay, that's that. And the last thing is here how to. Oh, wait. Also. Oh no, okay, well that comes with that, sorry. Okay, the last thing here and some further stuff is how to create an index. If the document is very long, it may be very useful for a lot of readers to have an index for searching keywords and certain concepts. Well, I mean, Control F is very useful, but it will not be always that great. Well, it is fantastic for PDFs, but if you print something, you need an index. For this, the package make IDX, make an index, and the commands make index and print index, and the compiling option make index are needed. Let me show you that, or let me finish reading this. You may want to index different words like heterogeneous materials and with the command index. Effective properties, and then indexing that stuff but giving it as a respective name, because this name can be given to several stuff within the complete document, and you will have the reference to all of those pages where this concept is described, and homogenization, but yeah, whatever. What you need for that is first the package make index, that line directly after that. Within the compilation, again, also exactly that. That's why I made that. So let me be clear about that. Compile with PDF LaTeX. I want to also embed BibTeX stuff. I need this make index. After that, I need PDF LaTeX twice. This is because after I compile the first time, I get the locations for all the literature references, all of the index references, and this has to be compiled twice again in order to that that everything is in their place. And after that, I would like to take a look at the PDF. That's why you need all of these commands within the compilation. Okay, and you will need not only that, but let me go to the end. You will also need the command print index in order to put where you want the index to be. Normally at the very end of the complete document. That's why after the list of figures, list of tables, and then after that, the index. Let me compile it. And then we have, what? Okay, there we go. And the index with the pages for the different concepts. And again, if you when you have a larger document and some other point, so you may want to refer to the very same concept, and then your index is exactly there. But please is with the very same words in order to get all the pages where that concept is described. Okay, that's it. The one thing that I still wanted to show here was, wait. No. I need, was it the package? No, page settings. Nope. There was the very last thing that I wanted to do. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, that one. Sorry, that is one important thing, this line. This package is needed in order to display, let me go to the table of contents. Let me put it on. When you create an index, append the list of figures and the list of tables, those are per default not displayed within the table of contents. So those links you will not be there per default, as well as the bibliography, as far as I remember. But if you want those within the table of contents, you will need exactly that package, table of contents, bibliography, index. That's the name of the package. And it's actually, it makes the table of contents, the bibliography stuff, and the index are also within the table of contents. So also the table of contents. And if you put the option not table of contents, then the table of contents will not be within the table of contents. Let me be clear about that. I'm going to delete this and compile. And there you go. Here, contents, page 5. This, well, sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't like it. That's why I'm not going to use that, but let me also be clear that if you don't use that package, there you go. No bibliography, no list of figures, index, and list of tables. So if you want those, use them. Okay. So, are we finished with all this? Wait. Okay, yeah, we're finished. Okay, so well, at the end, I just have to say is I hope I could help you with this, and I hope that you would you could download everything that you wanted or needed. Well, that's all. Okay, thank you for your attention. Maybe we'll see us in another video. Okay, bye.